Welcome to the Casual Experience.
Casuals, you're welcome to the Casual Experience Show, where we give you daily updates on MMA news from a casual perspective. And on this episode, 314 is upon us, featuring Alexander Volkanovski the Great and Diego Lopes. And as you can see, it's going to be a title fight, and we have our own UFC prop right here. And I'm with my friends, GOC and Onyedika. Welcome, guys.
It's a pleasure, brother.
What do you think about the new setup?
I mean, dope. I like it. As I saw it, actually jaw gaping, attention craving. Like the belt is amazing. I like it.
Yeah. Onyedika, why do you look the belt now?
You're looking at my belt, my success.
It's just beautiful to know people kill themselves over this.
Over this, I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
It's beautiful, man.
but it makes or marry a man. In the UFC.
Yeah.
This every fighter that gets into the UFC, this is what they look forward to. I mean, Diego Lopes is fighting on Saturday, and I'm sure I don't know I don't know the kind of sleepless nights he's having now. I can't imagine knowing. They have fighters have this power of manifestation and imagination. They will say he should keep imagining himself having the belt wrapped around his waist. And Volkanovski's been here before. Anything that makes Volkanovski win the belt, in my books, he becomes the GOAT of the featherweight.
The most decorated, the greatest of all time.
And 2 times featherweight champion.
Exactly. You scarcely see something like that in a stacked featherweight division.
Yeah, and we have a lot of exciting fights. I mean, the main card, the preliminaries is dope. We have Darren Elkins. You know Darren Elkins? They call him he has this rugged tattoo on his. He fights in featherweight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is a featherweight build card.
Exactly. I was going to say that there are a lot of featherweights on the fight on the card, and it was the same thing last week too. And we were
Emmett and Murphy.
we were talking about
the weekend card, the last weekend card.
Fight night.
No, we're talking about the atmosphere, the altitude. That was the
playing
fight
a
we were talking about. The altitude. They said they have.
That was headlined by Moreno and Esek.
Yes, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where he won for the first time in his home base.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's
So
the next
is
chance.
featherweight the banging weight
today?
In the UFC?
Yes, right now.
No, not really.
Like it seems to be the booming tight
It's welterweight.
welterweight.
Yes, they have. There's an avalanche of stardom. There's an avalanche of star material of UFC champion. Comes from Shafkat to Carlos Patres to.
Those are names. I mean, the fights that are going on now. The featherweight seems to be active now. I'm not even talking about the name.
Based on this card.
Not on this card. Like even for the past couple of generally
Oh
speaking.
yes,
For
very
the past
busy,
couple
very
of
busy
weeks,
division.
they've been fighting. Like it's always been the featherweights they've been putting up.
Used to be the lightweight, but
Yeah.
the crown for me.
And then we have one of the fights we have on the prelims that seems to be
Can I
exciting.
build up on this very thing that you guys are saying about the featherweights being the most exciting division?
Yeah.
This guy.
That's what I'm about saying.
This guy
How
with
can we
his
not
photo
talk
here
about him?
has destroyed everything.
Everybody.
No, everything about the foundation upon which the featherweight was built.
Why do you say that?
He vacated his title and went up to lightweight.
Yeah.
It says everything about the featherweight
But-
now. Featherweight has to fight back for their credibility, and lightweight has always been that active division.
But
And
this
he's
is
now going. Okay,
This is Ilias Mass here. If there was a time he was supposed to vacate the title, when should it be?
It's now.
That the ovation is loudest, right?
Yes.
That's one. Then
but you know,
at
he could
this
have just continued though.
but at this
He
point
could have just
at,
continued.
at this point, this is the second point, and I think is the most relevant. When you're calling the top 5 greatest featherweights in history, name them. You name Max, right?
Is there.
You're going to name Volk.
Is there.
And he's beating both of them
out.
Not both of them out.
So what do you call him?
That's why I said
A legend.
he has scattered the foundation of the
So are you-
like the featherweights but have to fight back for that credibility. It's kind of like when Conor and Khabib were holding up the lightweight division.
Yeah.
Then we started focusing on Tony Ferguson's long record, started focusing on other people. We started looking for the next person to come and challenge the people that we have at the top. Imagine those two guys now vacating and leaving the light.
Okay, are you trying to say that he has bullied winning in that division? He has actually monopolized the winning in that division?
Exactly, and then he left.
And I don't think so, because the story hasn't ended there.
It
hasn't ended.
Look at the biggest
right now.
Yeah.
The story that is being written about the featherweight for me. I mean, look at Can I speak about Volkanovski already, or should I post it?
No, you go on.
Okay, he beat Volkanovski.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, and he also beat
Max.
He knocked them out.
Cracked him.
Yes, he knocked
yes.
them out in what we could say was the best boxing display
Yeah.
so far in the UFC.
In my opinion, he's the best boxer in.
Yeah.
Because not only does he have the skill, he has the power to back it up.
Combinations.
Against the best chin, he cracked Max Holloway.
Max,
Yeah.
yeah.
He knocked out Alexander Volkanovski.
The great.
These two people shared the title for over 4 fights. For almost, not
Four.
consecutive fights,
Yeah.
but over 4 fights. We
Yeah.
saw the flyweight division being held up the same way. No, not flyweight. Where did
By
these guys
Dimitrios.
fight? No.
Where?
Moreno and
That's flyweight, yeah.
Figueiredo.
That's
Yeah.
flyweight.
They
Yes.
held up that division for 4 years too. People like Kaikara France, as at the time, Moreno and Figueiredo were fighting the first fight. Kaikara France was a very good title contender. In fact, the very night that Figueiredo beat, I think Almeida was who he beat in the Apex. There was no sound that day. I can remember all the shouts and the thoughts and the punches that night. That night, these guys also fought on that same card. Brando Moreno and either Kaikara France or Brando Royval on the same card. So those two guys beat the next contenders, and there was no other person to face them. However, it was a very, very active division.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, there's nothing else to do. Book these two people to fight. The storyline went well for Brando Moreno. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. He's finally fighting for the title. Figueiredo, God of War, come and defend your title. And they went back to back. After that, during that period, nobody was looking at any other person in that division. We're focused on those two. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So now I'm just using that as a
foundation. Okay.
Yeah, to talk about the featherweight division.
Yeah.
This guy, Topuria, leaving the featherweight division, vacating the title. Thank God Dana White said, drop that belt and go. Because there have been a very big slap.
But don't you reckon
is
is more exciting times? Do you know why I say that? Is now the featherweight and the lightweight are now kind of intertwined. You've
Yeah.
seen the featherweight champions move up. Volkanovski did it, but with his belt. Now he's vacated the
without
belt.
so much success.
Now look at the sweeter story that I see happening.
Yeah.
If Alex grabs the belt on Saturday and wins it, what do you reckon the rematch? And Ilya goes up and wins Islam and becomes the lightweight champion.
Yeah.
How do you see their rematch?
That
I think it would be the
carousel.
biggest because now their rematch.
Gonna die.
The featherweight champion, and it's going to be a rematch.
You don't know, especially if Volk collects this belt, because Diego Lopes is not a guy that comes to play; he comes to bang.
Yes.
Now,
But it's a very-
if
okay,
Volk
yeah.
can weather through that storm and collect this belt, there is this confidence, and he would reanimate a god within himself.
Yeah.
And he will be able to challenge anybody, even challenge welterweights. Do
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
I feel that he will now want to correct that impression that, yeah, you cracked my gene and you knocked me out, but I actually want to now do you back your
Yeah.
own.
I
That's
too.
Volk.
That's
Yeah,
Volk,
that's
yeah.
Volk.
Yes.
So I see that happening. But that depends on 315. If JDM collects the belt from Belal.
Belal. And do you guys hear the
very,
recent
very
news? Did you see what happened today? Belal unfollowed everybody in Khabib's gym. Hey! Belal. Yes.
He has gone to Dagestan and has forgotten, man.
No. Get it clear. This is a very
There's a
interesting
reason for
point.
that, I feel. Because Islam now has been chipping about going to welterweight.
Do you understand?
And he feels that there's a sense, he feels they owe him a sense of loyalty. Whether from the religion
Did
background.
you say he unfollowed or he followed?
He unfollowed.
Oh, that's very deep.
That's also deep.
That's very deep.
I get
I've not been following
that's
social
follow
media,
on
but
following.
that's
I
very
think
deep.
it comes from Islam, the conversation of
They must have
wanting
had
to
some-
collect the belts.
They've not even fought. Him and JBM hasn't fought. And
Yes.
Islam is making remarks like if JDM wins, he's going to move to
So
welterweight.
he's subtly
I mean,
working
that's
on
a
the side
subtle,
of
yeah.
JDM. He wants JDM to win.
Yeah, but I mean, Belal feels like if you had not spoken, if not said anything, maybe the silence will be fair. But you
Yeah.
saying things like that is like you like even wishing him to lose, or you already. Before now they were saying if Belal wasn't the champion, he would have moved up.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Now you're now saying that if JDM wins, you're going to move up, which says a lot of things, don't you think?
All these ones we're talking, let's be very fair. All three of us, we want JDM to win. Do you know why?
Not three of us. Speak for yourself.
Okay.
I don't want JDM to win. I don't want JDM
Do you like
to
how lightweight is boring?
win. Welterweight.
Why lightweight is boring?
Welterweight isn't boring.
welterweight is not boring. So I would like to see an Islam Makhachev at that very high caliber in the stratification is on number one, pound for pound. I want him to test. He has not been tested.
Yeah.
Let him go and fight Shafkat. Think about
who's not been tested? Islam. Oh my God.
So get my point. You're not getting my point. I'm not trying to speak ill of the pound for pound number one. Okay. I'm saying that real challenge has not fought a real challenge. Volk is not a challenge. Topuria could be a challenge. Topuria is not even a challenge.
Charles Oliveira isn't a challenge.
It's not even a challenge.
Justin Poirier isn't a challenge.
He's a big world. He's a big lightweight. Do you know he'll be very good?
I think you're underrating how good Islam is. That's what I feel. That's what I feel you're doing. Islam is goddamn good.
Very good. I'm not disputing that.
He's even been saying it that look, if you can make lightweight,
come and fight. I don't want to see what I'm saying. I don't want Islam as a champion is not making.
It's a form of challenge that he wants to move
exciting.
Up. But guys, this is it. If we keep on Alex, we are going to finish our time. We have a lot of fights. Yes, we have a lot of fights to point out. And on the prelims, the one particular fight that catches my fancy is Jim Miller, a 41-year-old Jim Miller.
He's fighting again.
Fighting Chase Hooper.
He won his fight.
41 years. He won his last. If you're saying he's 45, yeah. No. He knocked out the person he fought.
Oh.
Jim Miller. This is a stat I want to tell you.
Yeah.
You know Chase Hooper now. You know him as this boy grappler when he
has a weird look.
Yes, when he not a weird look, a babyish look.
My bad.
Yeah, he has this babyish look.
Looks like Ben Askren's son.
I said weird.
It looks like
my bad actually. Yeah.
It looks like Ben Askren's son. Ben Askren was always calling him his son. He was even always calling Ben Askren his daddy.
Yeah, has this Indomie looking kind of hair.
But this is the start I want to make.
Okay.
Jamila is 41 years old.
Yeah.
He made his UFC debut November 2005.
Wow.
Yeah. He's had 44 fights in UFC.
Wow. Only UFC 44 fights.
Yes, he has the most wins in UFC. 27 wins. That's not even. He has 27 wins, 17 losses. Yeah.
Okay.
When he made his debut 2005, Chizuba was just 4 years old.
Oh, how old was he when he made his debut?
When he made his debut, I think it was around 20 or so. 18 or 19, 20.
Actually, he could actually give birth to Cooper.
He's 41 now. So
yes, 41. Yes. So it's like daddy and child fighting.
Yeah, man, because MMA spermatozoa can actually fertilize a child.
Yeah.
And 16 years, yeah?
And the odds against Jamila is so stacked. And boy, looking at it, I don't think I want to underestimate.
Oh, okay, that's what it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you gave me this stat. I think it's a person of the touch.
But they've been feeding. One thing the UFC have been doing recently is feeding Chase Hooper people that have passed their not even their prime. They've passed their fence. His last fight. His last fight was Gleguda. You remember Gleguda?
Yeah. Okay.
He's also an OG. He submitted him in the first round.
I remember. That could happen to Jamila.
Well, if you are a better taker and someone that stakes, it's not going to be a bad idea to put a little something on Jamila. The odds are so crazy.
Yeah. That's his favorite Chase.
To get something because the possibility
and it's a fight after all.
It's favorite Chase. The odds are very Chase.
Yes, very significant.
Yeah, actually,
and guess the fight that we have that is the prelim.
People.
The top fight. No,
people still. Okay.
Can I just add something on Jamila? It's the same. I'm just going with OG with GOC.
Oh no, you say it again. Say it again. Continue.
Yeah, it's going to look. It's kind of like a passing on the touch.
Yeah, I feel too. I feel Chase is good. Chase is refining his striking.
Kind of like
getting better. Yeah, not like Rosas. Yes, and I feel he just want to make a point on a big card like this, and he's just going to submit him.
How old is Chase?
He's 25.
Okay, so young.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
And we have a top fight that we have is Dan 50K Iggy.
Where's in this fight can begin? Somebody fought. Okay, he says Brad Tavares.
Sean Strickland.
I don't think we're going to do justice to to ever talking about Dan Iggy and not hailing him.
As in short notice. That was
do you know this capable? He was. See what he said? He said, I wanted to just
sitting.
balance on my chair
I said-
and put on the remote. Then I got a call
Chill
from
with his
Dana.
beer and
Then
just
I was
watch
like,
a
oh yeah,
fight.
come and fight. And I'm fighting.
And it's
Oh, that's just the beginning of the story. You've not said the story today. Like,
Okay.
he received the call. He was on his couch.
Yeah.
15 minutes to the co-main event. Just there, wanted to watch the fight, and they called him that. Are you up? Do you know what next? He called his coach Eric Nixick.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And you know what? They jumped into the car. They were going. Guess who was riding his power bike behind them?
John Strickland.
So the gym and he called him.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go,
I bleed for you.
And do you know what? He showed out in the fight with Diego Lopes. He won
Very
the third
close
round.
fight.
Someone that wasn't even.
That
You know,
didn't
they
prepare.
had to fight at the catch weight.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and he came up and he
I thought
was.
was at the Apex.
Yeah, it was at the. It was at the pay-per-view. It was
not
It was not
was
Noche.
Fight night.
No,
It wasn't a fight line.
What
It
are
was
you
a
getting on
pay-
short notice?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, I can't
That's why it's
remember.
dope.
It was against Diego Lopes.
Yes,
It's dope.
I don't remember.
So there's Brad Tavares, there is Sean Strickland, there is there's
Isn't there-
Ige. Yeah, in their gym.
Danige, yes.
Well, have you seen
Eric is
what
their
Brad
coach.
Tavares' last fight?
Yeah, he won his last fight. He is now the same.
Michael Bisping.
Michael Bisping, 16.
But you like the way he
16
fought?
fights. Yeah, he's just
Good striking.
Yeah, he's
He's
someone
working with
that
Eric
you would
Bisping
always
now.
for someone to be in the UFC for over 17
2010,
years.
that's when he
so,
debuted.
yes. So you would know that he has his wins in orders and he has his losses in order.
Yeah.
In the UFC, he's one of the few people that has lost 3 fights consecutively or more, and the UFC still retained. It just
Yes.
shows that he sees something
There's
in him.
something about
It's
him.
not like he's a top fighter, but like they know that these are the kind of fighters that we can actually
Him and
retain
Kevin
and
Holland are
actually
the same
keep.
WhatsApp
Yeah,
group.
that kind of
That's a
thing.
very, very good point you brought up. You know, talking what you just said about somebody at the UFC after like 3 fights, they still haven't caught him. We have a lot of people with that potential on this guy.
Yeah.
People that are on some fight skids. For example,
Yeah, Michael Chandler. We're going to get there. So let's go there.
Very interesting. We'll go to that, so we'll touch
But
on
we
it,
fight
get there.
Danige, featherweight. That's
50K.
Before
Let's go.
before they go to the live event, he's fighting Sean Woodson.
I understand.
That long Richie guy with short
Oh.
Oh my god.
In featherweight, and he
Guy's
seems
very lanky.
very lanky.
Yeah, so
He's
lanky
6'3".
and he uses his reach so
He's rich
well.
and he's a good boxer. He's also
That is like 5 something.
he's 6'3".
Dan Ige.
No,
Ige is 5'9".
No. I mean Sean Woodson.
He's 6'3".
Yes, I'm trying to
He's the
look at
tallest.
what-
He's the tallest.
in featherweight, like
He's the
someone to be
tallest.
that tall in featherweight. So I
It used to be
mean,
Dan Hooker.
not fair.
It used to be Dan
That's
Hooker.
not-
Yeah.
Like 6'1" at
Before he
featherweight.
went up.
Before he went
Yeah.
up. But it was 6'3". He's tall. He's tall. How does he make that weight?
only God
His
knows.
bones.
I feel that
Now
that's
just
the
imagine a full spirit at featherweight.
Yeah,
My
and
God.
he fights, and he
bully
fights to his
Full spirit at
Bully
featherweight.
everybody.
yeah, he fights to his full potentials. He's a wonderful boxer.
Oh, this card is dope,
Yeah,
man. I
as
like
in
the card.
that's just prelim. Now we're getting to the. Who do you figure wins?
Danige bangs, Danige grapples, Danige doesn't want to lose, he pulls that guy's waist and he's on the floor. He's not going to trade with that guy.
Everything he says is very true. Dan Ige does all these things, but man, Sean Woodson
He's a bad man,
He's bad and he knows what he has.
and he has
And he
all
knows
the
how to use what
tools.
yes, and he knows how to
In that
use them.
division
Does he
against
grapple?
every other person. No, his boxing skills. His boxing
Very
skills
richy,
is
he knows how to use
yes.
his
You know a fight they should give him? Moslaev and Woodson.
No, now that one just grapple him. That one Muslim will just grapple him to death now.
Most of
Let's
how
keep
Dan
going.
Ige-
This is just a better
Ige
fight
wins.
for him.
Dan Ige.
Yes.
If Dan Ige's path to victory for me is just being Dan Ige, man.
Yeah.
Being committed to the fight and grinding out for.
He has that overhand,
And knock
on the
anybody
right
anytime.
overhand,
Yes.
and you know for a
I guess that's something that's very sneaky against taller fighters.
taller fighters,
Don't
the
see-
overhand
connect with
hits
your
them.
jaw very
Yeah.
fast.
But what are the odds that it will go through for him?
Yeah.
Against Sean Woodson. Who knows?
I'm
that?
leaning towards Sean Wilson
Yeah,
here
I
too.
lean towards Sean
Yeah,
Woodson.
and this is our main card,
Of
guys.
the evening.
Bangers of fights.
Let's
Ladies
go.
and gentlemen, this
Is
is
The main
No,
event.
main card. No, this is where it says we are live. That's when they get to the main card. And the first fight of the main card is
yeah.
Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes.
Wow.
Okay, I know Krylov. Okay, yeah. That's about.
You know, this is
Yeah.
Krylov's
Knockout.
second stint in the UFC. He was caught at the point.
Oh,
Maybe
Yeah.
not today.
inactivity.
Not only that, he
What's his ranking?
lost
What's his
his-
ranking?
Maybe not tomorrow.
I don't know his ranking right now. I think
8-5.
both of them are on rank. No, they're both on rank. I feel.
Really?
Yes.
I think they're trying to bring Dominic Reyes. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Dominic is not ranked.
But-
Hold on, lightweight.
He won his last
Don't fight
fight.
John Jones and just be
Jacoby.
normal.
But before he lost the last,
Jacoby,
before
before
he
Jacoby.
won it, he's on a 2-win
Three.
streak. That's
The race, right?
race. But
Yes.
the same thing as
I'm
Krylov.
happy for that guy, man.
I'm
you,
so
don't,
happy.
you don't fight John Jones and be normal.
Do you know why?
Rez,
Do you know why I
Abi.
like him?
Really? So coming back and being on.
He was 13-0 fighting John Jones and arguably beat John Jones.
Yes.
Okay, Krylov is 8.
And the cost of
It's
John
right?
Jones.
Yes, and
So
Dominic
apparently they're trying to
Dominic
step
Reyes
up-
is 11th.
They're trying to step up Dominic Reyes. He's a very good material as a champ.
Yeah.
They want to pay for it. Like the controversial loss.
But Krylov is such a good fighter. Do you know why?
Nothing.
The only fighters that have won him in the UFC
Grapplers.
is Ankalaev, Blaovic, and Paul Craig. You know, Paul Craig can just win anybody at any time.
Oh,
Yeah.
broke Jamal Hill's arm.
Yes.
At
So
middleweight, though.
apparently,
Yes.
apparently, this guy should be watchful for shooting. If actually he has wins over this guy, that's Sean Reyes, right?
Yeah.
He should actually be careful because he's lost to grapplers. These are grapplers.
Yeah.
These are grapplers. These are guys that are good on the fleet, on the ground. Yeah, on the ground. Yeah.
Guys,
Where's Krylov from? Is he Georgian?
Krylov. Oh.
I just guessed that though. Where-
No, it sounds them.
Scandinavian,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think Dominic Reyes to win. I like him. He's tall. He's cute.
That,
Nice guy.
that fight, I'm having two minds against it, so I don't think I'll even be touching it. But if I also have to pick, the more recognized name is
Reyes,
is
star
what
power.
one. Why I'll pick.
Yeah.
Dominic Reyes, I feel over the years after his loss to John Jones, he kind of lost his confidence and his ways.
Yeah.
But now he's back.
He's back.
But in his fights, he's kind of
Slower.
Yeah.
Okay, I noticed. Okay, so what
lost
happened? I
those
think is
movements.
when he went home and he was hibernating in his space, he ate a lot of food. He's not as I'm not saying speaking
He's a
ill
very-
about him.
No, it's okay.
But like I think he's a little bit heavier. He's like around span. See him in fight away.
Yes.
Looks very
Yeah,
lazy,
span
very
is-
lazy.
is
You know.
span.
But I think Reyes right now, he has bulk on his hands. See, I knocked out Jacoby.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I like the race that fought John Jones, but this race now is up to something. I like his last microphone speech on the octagon was stellar.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
I-
You mean Reyes?
Yeah, Reyes,
I
yeah,
don't have a current
man.
memory of it.
Oh, great
Yeah.
man, very great guy. Man.
And another fight on the card after that. I mean, this card is a banger.
Man,
Yeah, Rodriguez and Patricio
there already?
let's
Pitbull.
go.
Yeah.
Bryce Mitchell and
Bryce
No, we've not gotten there. We've not even gotten there.
was it fight,
This is
Choco?
this is
Bro,
yeah,
where will you be? Where will
Rodriguez.
you be?
He's
I
going
don't know
to
about
be on the watch
I'm
party.
not on call this week.
Bro, it can't be on call. You have to call in
Let
sick.
my boss not see this.
Ah, he's not has to
But
call
I'm
in
not
sick.
call this week.
No, let them hear.
No, but seriously, you cannot miss watch party.
No,
Live
I'm not on call
3:14.
this week.
You said
I'm not on call
Pitbull.
this week.
It's the next one after that one.
yeah, Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez versus
School him.
Patricio Pitbull.
School
And
him.
these are a bit of stats.
Oh, my
Yeah, Rodriguez is 5th, ranked light featherweight,
That's
and
going to be awesome.
Patricio Pitbull
For
he's been in 16 championship fights.
Damn.
Like back to 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 back. That is like
I watch you guys.
he could be considered the Bellator GOAT,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
He's Bellator.
Yeah, he's just coming from Bellator. He gives you a kind of Michael Chandler kind of vibe. When
You know
Michael
they fought
Chandler.
together. at-
Ah,
they fought
yes,
at
now,
Bellator.
yes,
So
yes.
Chandler and the
Yes, and Chandler, they were asking Chandler if there was
Press
a possibility of them fighting now, and he was like, they are not the same class anymore.
He's not a serious human being.
Chandler is fighting
The
in
funny
lightweight.
thing, Chandler messed up so bad.
Why now? I like Chandler.
No, that's he's
How
fine.
did he mess up?
But he messed up so badly against Pitbull. I might be too.
No, that was the former Chandler. He's conquered that former past. Let's move
That was
on.
the best form of Chandler as far as I'm concerned. This Chandler
Yeah,
right now
the
is a
Bellator
retirement
Chandler was the
It's
best form of it.
How was his round one? Well, how was his cardio?
He's always been explosive and
There's this perennial nerve. It's the nerve that supplies this part of the leg. That's the lateral side.
That's the one that this guy compromised
On the outer
is
side.
at the sign.
Yes, you also see. I think Seudu too has had that. Seudu too has had that affect him in fights. In a
Okay.
particular fight, he was kicked repeatedly, and you could see the leg almost giving away. If you also remember,
yes, I remember that fight.
yes, Sean O'Malley too, and Sean O'Malley and I'm just trying to give you some
yes.
examples.
Yes.
So that's something that happens in MMA. When you're repeatedly kicked
Kicking the leg.
on the on
Even
the
with
outer
Israel,
side of
it
your leg.
happened with Israel.
Yes.
Yes, there's a
Against
major nerve
Australia.
that
And
supplies
his
the
manager is
muscles
actually
there
even here.
for you to stand. So it basically helps you to, we call it dorsiflex, but it means to raise the I don't want to take my foot off,
Yeah.
but like this part of your foot to flex it this way.
Yeah.
So if you are repeatedly kicked there, the nerve could just deaden for a while, and you have what we call foot drop. In fact, some people don't recover the sensation for up to 3 days. I can't remember. There was a particular fighter that spoke about this. I just can't remember right
He's
now.
at this sign now. That this guy is easy now.
Yeah,
it was on Joe Rogan. He said that the thing just comes that he's blessed. That when he just tucks his hips, it hits directly that place.
Yeah.
And his right leg was not.
You have to properly check kicks, but there's so much you can check.
Can you check Pereira? Puatan, Shama.
Well,
let's go.
Anyway, why I brought that up about checking was when Patricia Pitbull and Chandler fought, and I mean, based on the size, Chandler was supposed to win that fight based off of size, but there's a reason why Pitbull has that record. You understand? He kicked Chandler so repeatedly. Chandler was just wobbling,
and he has so much power.
Did you see the fight?
As much as Chandler, he watched it.
He was wobbling. I was so disappointed. It happens though, yes, but I was really disappointed.
For this fight, let me give you a couple of stats, guys.
Oh God, drop it, man.
Pitbull is 37 years old.
Okay.
And he's had 43 fights. So he has that wear and tear. Yeah. And even his last fight, he's fought a year ago. And that was a championship, the fight he won. And he was primarily losing that fight. And he won it via knockout. Yeah, Rodriguez, we know what's up with his kicks and movements.
You're forgetting one of his highlights. His highlights. He was losing the fight to
Korean Zombie. Yes. He made Korean Zombie move into that
elbow.
Back elbow.
At 4th and 59.
Now, Rodriguez, his last fight, he lost to Ortega. His last win was in 2023. And he's been out for over a year now. So what do you think plays out?
Okay, so I want to ask you one question. Have you watched the Pitbull fight?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I have not watched it. How good are his kicks?
Powerful.
So I think what they actually matched up were two fighters who have great kicks. That's what they just did.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Who has the best kicks outside Pereira in the UFC? It's this guy.
Yeah, Rodriguez, right?
Dumb, bro. I've seen a kick that I say, what is this kick? It just goes in the air, then it slaps you, then it slaps you again, then they can put it down, So it's two kickers.
Yeah.
If there's a word like that.
But
who is a recent kicker?
I feel in this particular fight, speed is going to play a whole lot.
You guys are old? 31?
Pitbull is the same kind of...
Yeah,
it's 32.
Okay, fine.
Pitbull tries to crowd his opponents and, just throw bombs. And
he likes to dominate. He likes to take control.
I feel Rodriguez game plan will be to move around and just keep kicking his body and everything. But guess who Pitbull trains with?
Give me a clue.
Top 10.
Hint.
He's a champion. Current champion.
The brother is not a champion again. It's Pantoja.
No, he trains with Belal.
Really?
And what do you think Belal's advice would be to him?
He drown him.
Drown him.
Distance is your enemy. Drag him, grapple like you want to strike, then drown him.
Yeah.
Headshot down.
No, how do you see the fight playing out, guys?
If Belal is going to be in his corner, it's a long night for Yair Rodriguez. Who's cornering Yair Rodriguez? I don't mean to be disrespectful for the incumbent UFC fighter, but I'm tilting based on what you told me towards Pitbull, yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Onyedika?
How I see this fight going out, playing out, I'll just use certain factors from everything we've said. Starting with Belal, the point of Belal. There's this thing that I don't really rate like that, which is bringing fighters to corner you. I don't really believe in that.
Bringing
a fighter, a popular person. Get a coach. You understand? Get proper people to be in your corner. There's been.
I don't think Belal is going to be in his corner. He just trains with him.
Okay, fine. Fine. No, that's just one point from one side. But Belal training with him is also very good. Which is, I will still side with what GOC said here, which is he's going to encourage him to just hug this guy, wrestle the whole time, which makes sense because if you look at the paths to victory for people who have fought against Yair, that's been it. And Max Holloway used that very well
to grapple in.
Yes, in fact, everybody was surprised because we're like, so Max, you can grapple. That fight.
Alex Volkanovski.
And also,
and Yair fears nobody. Yair was ready to trade with Holloway that day.
Yeah.
Just that he did not expect Holloway to come and grapple that day. And to me, Holloway really respected that boy's strength and mind.
Yes.
Pitbull is going to come at him, with all the energy and all, but I feel Pitbull might want to use the wrestling, but mind you, Pitbull is a smaller guy than Yair.
Yeah.
Yes, and now another thing to also, I won't say negate this very point, but the last person that Pitbull faced, I don't know for sure if it was the last person that they faced before PFL and Bellator fused together, but AJ McKee.
Yeah, I know AJ McKee.
Oh my God.
AJ
McKee for me is the closest thing to fighters like Yair in the UFC. You understand? He's just very, very sleek on the mat.
Yeah.
You understand? Do you if you watch the first fight in Bellator, when AJ took the title in round 1, it was, I mean, it just showed the path to victory for fighters against someone like Pitbull. To me, it made sense why Pitbull left the Bellator after that kind of fight. If he should keep fighting fighters like AJ McKee, he will be on the decline. And he has gotten to that point where he should just go to the UFC and cash out.
The UFC is the pinnacle
exactly.
now. And he's gotten a blueprint from Chandler.
Yes.
And he might not have a bigger name than Chandler.
That might be a rubber match in the future.
But I feel he knows, they asked my Chandler, but I feel he knows that he might not have a bigger star than Chandler. But he is more technically gifted and a more better fighter than Chandler. So I think he fancies his chances. And if he can garner a win here.
Yeah, it's huge. It's gonna be number 5.
He might call out the champion.
So I'll ask you: is Yair Rodriguez, was he one time an interim champion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And guys,
with the colorful belt, I think he won that in Mexico. So
yes, our next fight.
Was it?
How do you see the fight going? How about the decision? How do you see the fight going? I lean to Yair.
I'm picking Pitbull.
I lean on Yair.
Pitbull is going to go.
Yair wouldn't want some new guys just come and
I pick Pitbull.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Pitbull here. Okay. Too. So our next fight is going to be. When I say that, who is that?
John.
Yeah, John Silver.
No, you don't call him John Silver anymore. You call him
Underdog Silver.
No, you call him.
I wish I brought my glasses here. It's part of the nerds, but
yes, Lord.
Yeah.
John Silver.
Did you see the back and forth with him and Bryce Mitchell?
Yes,
this fight is the fight of this card. Are you aware?
Bryce Mitchell, I think he's going to be the slipper of the night here. And I feel what's Bryce Mitchell, he's coming from a religious angle.
Yes, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
There are so much demons in John Silver that they've been giving him sleepless nights.
Yes.
That he's going to beat out the demons off.
The guy was talking, he said,
we need to send a consult to a therapist.
Our Father who art in heaven. He said that the Lord lives within me.
Yes.
He that guy without shoes, he said he tattooed the Lord. The Lord is on you, but the Lord lives within you.
And John Silver on his own, since he came as a heavy underdog in his first fight. And he won. Since when he won, and he's been backing about the stage like a dog, underdog, like he was the underdog. Yeah. So he was backing.
That's the big.
That's the trademark. So that's the dog in the yard. Yeah.
All he does, if you ask him a question, is he all back. And now he's in Bryce Mitchell's head.
But don't be surprised, though. Let me tell you how that fight ends.
But we've not tested. No one has tested his grappling.
Thank you.
And Bryce Mitchell is the best.
Elite.
Is the best test he's going to
get. If he grabs hold of you.
If he grabs hold of you,
it's a matter of time.
Twister. That's
but every fight starts on standing. How about if John Silver is actually better at grappling than we know? No one is tested. No one's tested him. They've not tested him so far. We've not seen anyone grapple him yet. And the fighting nerds, I noticed something about them. They seem to have a kind of style that seems to be difficult for grapplers to hold them. You can see that in Boyayo. Yeah. You see that in Silva. Yeah. You see that in Patrice. Yeah. There's another guy that has this lanky,
fluffy.
Knocked you see that like this. The grapplers don't seem to be able to handle their footwork.
But not elite grapplers.
So
I've been studying those guys for a while.
Well, how do you see this fight?
Okay, so how many twisters have we gotten in UFC? Twister submission. It's 3, right? 3?
Korean Zombie has one. Bryce
has another one. So that could play out.
No, you Twister is twice size far off. Don't say Twitter. How do you see the fight playing out? You can't just say you see him doing a Twitter against Bryce.
What if it now happens? The champ has spoken. But anyhow, I just feel that it's going to submit him.
For you to do a twister, you have to have completely dominated something.
You don't know what it takes to set up a twister. You have to have dominated him to even be able to put his hand rather behind your neck.
He won't just allow you to be doing it. You have to properly set it up.
I get what you're saying. It may be a decision win. Likely to be a decision win. Actually, nobody go agree. Or because the guy knocking out, does John Silver
Bryce Mitchell has been knocked out before.
Brutally, and he was shaking. Josh Emmett.
He had a seizure.
That wasn't a knockout. That was a murder, man.
Okay, thank you.
I feel he was resurrected.
Can we add that clip to this? No, sure.
Did you see?
That guy looked dead.
He was literally dead. That knockout. You heard the sound.
He was being treated for an accusation disorder.
Dana White said From there, like straight to the hospital.
Oh my god.
His leg was shaking.
Guys, we have limited
Hey,
times,
sorry.
and we have our co-main and main events. So
Yeah,
how
we
do you
should
see?
have pondered on
These are
that.
three fights. These
John Silver for me.
John Silver for you.
Yeah.
So these are
I can't pick
like
against
TKO.
somebody.
TKO.
I can't pick against somebody who has the Lord in him.
Who else?
The Lord in him.
Who told you that guy is normal?
Oh, it's not normal.
Bryce Mitchell. He just
If
has.
that guy comes to me in the hospital, I'll send him to PSY, man. Nah, for
Yeah, I
real.
actually want Bryce
Because
Mitchell.
today is this,
I want
tomorrow
Bryce
is
Mitchell.
that.
I want Bryce Mitchell. I want Bryce Mitchell to win.
I feel. This is what I feel too.
Yeah.
I feel it's going to be a close fight, but I feel Bryce Mitchell will just nick it using ground control and grappling, adequate grappling.
Yeah.
Sean,
And he's really good with it.
yes, he is,
He's really
and
good.
he's strong. You know, he's a fanboy. He's a
Yeah.
fanboy.
Farmers have a different type of strength.
Even-
This is a topic for
yes.
another day. They have a different kind of human
Even the way
strength.
he walks like a footballer. You know, he has
Compared to
bow legs and all. Like he
That
has-
just says it. Those guys have a completely different makeup, genetic makeup to the average human being.
Wow.
Should we go to our co-main event?
Yeah, let's go.
And this is going to be the most exciting fight on the card. I feel.
Actually, the
Yeah.
fight of the night.
Mike Chandler, Iron Mike Chandler versus
5 rounds, right?
Paddy
See
the
you at the
Baddy
top.
Pimblett.
Oh,
See you at the top.
He's been saying see you. He's been saying see you at the top, but we've not seen. Have we seen him at the top?
Come on.
I feel Mike Chandler reminds me of GOC that can sell anything in his mouth.
The champ?
It's a good trait.
That's right. That's right.
He would say like Mike Chandler would sell the fight to you and let you believe that he's going to beat his opponent to pulp. But I think since he's been to the UFC, he's developed a gimmick of him, not a gimmick,
It's
but
a gimmick.
being an entertainer, right?
It's a gimmick.
He's lost to
He's doing it well. He's doing it well
Yeah.
though. He's doing it well. He's
entertaining
not
the
being
fans.
helped. Yeah, he's not
Who
being helping
loses
him
the
because
fight
of
and
Conor.
calls out somebody? Like, can I
Yeah.
just call out for you?
Yeah.
He has lost the fight. Chandler have something to say. He said, I know there was a fight, but we actually put it up for it. He said, Joe, if he has a little guts in him,
Okay, Conor
Conor McGregor, this is your last chance. I don't know why you are sleeping on that place. Get your ass into the octagon. Let's have a song. I'm going to up it at Conor. I'm going to up the stakes at 170. Let us meet at the octagon. Peace. I love you all. Bless you.
See,
You know what's crazy about this?
And you see what I
In
said
all
about
of-
the mouth? You see the way he said
In all
it,
of
exactly
this,
like-
Connor is probably drinking a pint somewhere of property of his.
Killing himself.
No, and just snorking once more for
What about the mystery of just being good at only the
Joe,
first
you're
round?
told.
Then gets out in the second round.
Yeah, well, he because it's so explosive, and he always have moments in fights that are just memorable. Remember when
Dan Hooker.
was it Dan Hooker? No, yeah,
the
that
first
was,
fight.
He knocked out Danuka.
Yes,
Yes.
that was an explosive knockout, man.
Dan Hooker was just being too respectful. man.
No, not even that.
Dan Hooker really felt my hand in that fight. So it should have been more entertaining than that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
the moment, one of the
it was
most
Michael's show though. Like, let's not take anything away from that.
moments was when Oliveira had his back.
But wait, I agree with you.
You're
I agree,
now,
and then he jumped with him and landed on the
Yeah,
back.
one.
Not once.
Twice.
Not twice.
In 2 fights.
Yeah.
Over 2 fights. Yeah.
No, not the
No,
fight. The
the
same
second
fight. He
fight.
stood up.
Okay, yes,
He
but
had his back.
they
He was-
repeated it in the second fight. You know they fought again now.
Him and Oliveira. No, that's
not-
just one
That's the
time.
second
No,
fight.
he did that.
He didn't do it in the first fight. He did it in the second fight. Twice in the
they
second
have
fight.
fought-
they have
Last
fought
round.
Yes,
two
it
fights.
was
Twice.
the second fight.
When the first fight was almost close to being the champion.
Yes.
was close to being the champion.
Chandler.
Oh, he was not.
That
He was
he
TKO'd
beat
now.
Oliveira at the point that
Yes.
if he had persisted, he would have
In the
would
first
have
round,
TKO.
while Oliveira was on his back, he jumped and did that thing. Now, it was in the second round.
No, it was the second fight.
Second fight. Second
No,
fight.
this thing has
No,
happened
the
twice.
second fight.
When
Second
Oliveira
fight.
had his back.
Yes, and then
Okay,
he jumped.
yes, that's why he did it again.
Yes, no.
That's why he did
This
it.
is as clear-
That's why he did it in the
Yes.
second fight. That's why he did it in the second fight.
That's
why
Then he
he-
did like this one more time.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that is why I'm saying that Michael Chandler is just in fact he's the greatest showman right now in the UFC, and it's favoring him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at this point,
Yes.
if he loses his third fight, what do you think? Do you think the
I don't
UFC
think
still
he'll
keeps
be
him?
caught. Do you know why?
He won't be caught.
I don't think so. You know why? The UFC will prepare the rubber match between him and Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull is 37.
Pitbull is in featherweight.
Yes.
Except Pitbull comes up to meet him. He's in lightweight.
They will make it at a catchweight.
Yeah, but
Dana White will do anything.
They asked Chandler this week, and he was like, he's not interested in it.
What has Chandler been saying for the past 2 years about fighting McGregor?
It could be too.
Now he's fighting. He's fighting a Scouser. That's the closest thing to McGregor star power he's going to get.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of it.
So guys, how about Paddy Pimblett?
I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long while, I'm going to strongly. No, it's not even in a long while.
Paddy Pimblett
This fight is Paddy.
It's Paddy. It's all Paddy.
Yes,
Paddy.
he's easy to lose.
Yes.
Is
It's his. The fight is Paddy's fight to lose.
Oh.
Because Michael Chandler, we all know him. He will come with the whole explosiveness that he wants to come with. He will do all he wants to do. But like, if Paddy, look, and I feel Paddy is already shifting into another gear. He might not be as excellent as we think he is, but
he'll put on something special.
For you to
Paddy's going to submit Chandler.
For you to submit Bobby Green.
It was a mistake. Bobby Green made a mistake.
Don't say mistake.
He shot for a takedown.
How is that a mistake? He shot. He shot.
In his mind, it's like I made him. I fucked up. Oh shit! I
Why are you
fucked up.
defending this guy like this?
No, I'm not defending him. I'm not saying that.
You shot for the takedown. Did they force him to shoot for the takedown?
Yeah, okay. That's his game. That's his elbow.
Would you have even expected him to shoot for the
I
takedown?
didn't expect him, and he grabbed him
and he submitted him. Like, he submitted him in two ways. After he had that triangle, you know, he had his hand also.
Okay.
He had his hand, and I wanted to break his arm. He was out. Bobby Green was out in a very ridiculous way.
Yeah.
You saw the way he was out in a very, like, he did like.
It's not a fight that the ref just wanted Bobby to die.
Yeah, yes, now. And this is the fluffy knocked him out. Lightweight is by Mondes gave him this thing. He retired Genetona.
Give that brother money
inside on his leg.
But Paddy now, what Paddy, Pimblett, and Michael Chandler.
Paddy is winning. Except if Paddy is careless
and gets knocked out.
And no, it's knocked out. And that Scouser jaw gets actually compromised. And the Scouser gets knocked out.
Scouser.
I agree with you.
I don't think he's getting knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting him.
I don't think he's getting knocked out.
I don't feel he's getting knocked out.
Hear me. Tobi, Chelsea, hear me.
Yeah.
I think, for sure,
Yeah.
Paddy Pimblett is gonna choke out Michael Chandler. I don't know how he's gonna do it.
I think I'm beginning to mix Scottish.
I agree with you too. I agree with you too.
Scouser are Liverpool.
Yes, Liverpool. Yeah,
the Mercy side.
And that's why even though they are both UK guys, British guys, Tom Aspinall doesn't.
Yeah, Tom is from Manchester.
Tom is from Manchester. He's a Manchester United boy.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So these are really like this actually.
Yeah, it's a serious cult thing for the English guys.
Yes,
we're only borrowing their culture. It's a serious thing over there. They could stab you.
Yes,
it's a completely different culture for those guys.
You're picking
Paddy, yeah.
Paddy.
Yes,
I'm going with Paddy too.
Yeah, I would like to note something about Paddy's this fight in relation to
Topuria.
No. Chase Hooper. It's kind of like the Paddy Pimblett has been. I wouldn't say easy fight. It's not like an easy fight. A fight is a fight.
Yeah,
but he has been given fights that make sense for him to go up. Kind of like, if I'm to put this to avoid any arguments or anything, you know how Sean O'Malley's rise,
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah,
the UFC are nurturing him. They know what they are doing.
Yeah,
their matchmaking is excellent, right?
Because the UFC is a business. Let's not be like I'm trying to spoil anybody's business.
Yeah.
But if you want to support them, there is a business and all of that.
Yes, the business side and the entertainment side.
And long term, it can affect him, because if down the line, if he starts messing up, they'll come back and be like, Shayna, because say UFC been the try, start pardon, see what they do.
Yeah.
You get. But the fights actually make sense. The fights make sense. And this Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler
makes a lot of sense.
Makes so much sense for Paddy. You know why? Do you remember the altercation that Paddy has had?
And
very and also
it costs Topuria the water bottle.
And Sarukian too. And
water bottle at him.
Yes, and something about these two guys is these are people that don't need to fight for their lives. They are just here to fight. I don't know, like they have everything settled outside. They are not here to.
That's Sarukian and Topuria.
Yeah, they're kind of one thing that everybody uses to come against them is that they are not traditional fighters. They're not game bred until you step into the octagon with them.
Yeah,
and that's what's funny about Paddy Pimblett's altercation with these guys in those back rooms and all this, because he was always the aggressor, shouting, you're fucking pussy, and insulting them and all of that, and they were just calm the whole time. Now that Topuria, 2 years on now, I don't know how long that's been.
Do you see when they were supporting their own and him and Topuria fist bump
Actually,
they
I
fist
saw it.
bump themselves.
It concern him. It concern him.
But
See,
Tobi-
disrespect is buried in a man's heart and will come out at a particular time.
No, Topoye was
The
like
day
at that
they-
moment we're not fighting. We're
yes,
not
now,
in fight mode.
Topuria is a chill. You know, see, as in just he's a chilled guy.
Yes.
But once you close that octagon and you are his opponent,
To pay with your life. You are alive in that octagon. You are dead in that
so
octagon.
it will really be interesting
So,
to see. Sorry, it's
okay,
really
main
be
event.
interesting to see how Paddy would come up against people like Sarukian and Ilia Topuria. So because of that, he has to win against Michael Chandler and win well, because if he does not win in a convincing fashion, Topuria has the right to say, you have not done anything good enough for me to fight you. And the UFC can stand by that because Topuria wins in very convincing fashion.
Yeah,
That's just a fun.
Michael Chandler.
gets it.
I feel Michael Chandler needs a win here. He's lost 4 out of his 5.
Both of them. That's why for me, that's the potential fight of the night.
Yeah, he's going to be a
Potential fight of the
banger.
night.
And guys,
We are now still on
This
scene.
is the main event
Oh,
of the
evening.
evening. Sanctioned by. Won't leave them to announce that
Alex
Full spirit production.
Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego
later. Hey
Lopes.
Siri, play Men at Work.
And guys, just let me give a bit of stats. Alex Volkanovski, Topuria is vacated his belt.
Yeah.
Volkanovski is ranked number 1. Diego Lopes is ranked number 3. And
Potential fight. of the
Alex
night, too.
Volkanovski is on a 2-fight losing streak, both knockouts by Islam and Topuria.
Okay.
And he's been out for a while trying to recuperate. And Diego Lopes is won his last fight against his last fight was against Ortega.
Brian.
Brian
I almost
Ortega.
knocked him out though.
So how do you guys see the fight playing out?
Stock first.
Okay, fine.
So the champ can talk later.
Diego Lopes. I was going to mention this. We started talking about this I noted it down. He's a very reactive fighter for me. He's the kind of fighter that his counters are very good, both in jiu-jitsu and on stand-up. He's not the usual run to, start being the aggressor kind of person, which even kind of stylishly makes sense for him. He's the challenger.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to rush. And he's not the challenger. They're fighting for the belt.
Yeah.
Nobody is the champion here.
Yeah, but he seems to be as if he's the challenger
Challenger,
now.
yes.
Only
Because-
Yes, because he has not been there before.
Yes.
I think he has only had one 5-round fight, and I don't think it was in the UFC. Because so far, ever since he came into the
Oh, yeah,
UFC with a
3-round
high
fights.
five rounds.
anybody that comes into the UFC, you
Something
probably
pointed
have
out
heard,
before,
yeah,
yeah.
you hear about their record before coming to
Yeah.
the UFC. And since coming into the UFC, I don't know, has he been beyond? Has he gone beyond the second or third round? I don't think he has fought in
It's
a
always a
5-round.
3-round fight.
Always 3-round fights, but I don't think he has gone beyond
His
the
cardio is
second.
going to be tested.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be tested. And I mean, Volk is still very much in his prime. I don't think
Still
Volk
last
has
36 years.
Yeah, I mean
Still
the
Academy.
fight or the prime of fighters for me is kind of that late 27, 28. Depend unless you're a very special.
Or an heavyweight. Or John
Exactly.
Jones.
Or
Yeah, all of these things factor depend on the weight too. But for this kind of weight, I feel if you are going up to 36, there are very, very few outliers, and Volkanovski has everything in his repertoire to be among the outliers that's still within their prime.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 fights that he got finished,
Yeah.
bro, it was against Topuria and Islam.
Yeah.
And the way they finished him, see, go back to your emotions, to how your heart was beating before that fight,
Yeah.
and be honest. You didn't see that fight ending the way. I mean, the fear was there for the Ilia Topuria fight because he has now
He
had the
knocked out
knockout
before.
feel following Makachev. But my God, nobody expected it in the first round.
Yeah.
So this fight for Diego Lopes being the reactive fighter, like I mentioned, as my point and my bone of contention, trying to give my prediction for this fight, I would say Volkanovski has to charge at Diego Lopes in order for Diego Lopes to give a very, very good reaction. Otherwise, we have to see a very great game plan from Diego Lopes and his camp against Volk. And those kind of things don't work against Volk. If you are coming with a plan, Volk is a master planner. Volk played rugby at 205 pounds, and he's fighting at featherweight division. There is nothing this guy has not seen. There is nobody he has not faced.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of any human being.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very perfect at what. Topuria knocked him out and could not believe it. There was a reason for that reaction. No, yeah, he had the capability to do it, but he could not believe that he knocked Volkanovski out in that fashion.
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry that this is sounding a bit too personal. That fight was close to my surgery exam in final year, man. I can't forget. So I was reading so much. I didn't even do the build up to the fight.
Yeah.
I said, let me just watch down to cool off.
Who do you fancy
Volk.
winning now?
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're swaying towards Volk.
Yes, I am swaying towards. See, I can't see. I'm very, very 50-50. No, wait, I'm very, very 50-50, but for my decision.
Yeah.
However, if you want me to, if you are asking for my pick, I'll say Volk because Volk has everything to lose if he loses this fight. You understand? But then Volk does not think in that. The great, and also he's Aussie.
Yeah.
Australians don't back down from a fight. Mark Hunt had a very, very good rise up. But you know, I don't know if you are very conversant with Mark Hunt's fight. At some point, he started having one kind of decline.
Yeah.
But in every fight that he was fighting during those declines and every fight that is being booked, he never looked like somebody that is coming to lose with the intention to lose. That's something
It's
about
just
him.
like this current heavyweight now.
Exactly.
Who is that? Aussie
Sorry.
that drinks beer with his shoe. The shoe
Yeah,
that
Mike
touches-
Tuivasa.
Tuivasa.
Yeah. So if Diego Lopes for any second of this whole 25 minutes fight is not on his A game,
Yeah.
Volkanovski takes this fight.
So
he might
who-
not win it by in the first round. Maybe this fight can even stretch to the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
If he's going Volkanovski's way,
Yeah.
because that's Volk. But Diego Lopez' way path to victory is by finding openings against Alex. I don't
Okay.
see that really happening. But if it does happen, like if it's a very clear opening, then it might really be Alex's time. But right now, I still lean towards Alex because, like you said earlier, that build-up it would be insane. That Alex
your
would
pick?
win.
Alex.
Yeah, imagine Alex winning this title
Yeah.
and Topuria for some reason. Let's not talk too much about that.
Yeah. So, Josie, what do you think?
Okay, so,
So Alex.
what the champ thinks, right? Okay, so I think that Alex wins. I think Alex wins. That's
Yeah.
because number one, Paddy will be tested for Diego Lopez. Number two, Volk's style is I start fighting, I kick, I watch your reaction. So
He's
he's
studying
he's
you.
studying you. And on the ground too, who do you think is better? I think Volk is better on the ground.
Yeah.
Volk has terrible grounding power.
Volk is better on the ground, yes.
So
Diego is very sleek, crafty, he has the jiu-jitsu, he's younger, he's
But
better
Volk will
on the
not give his
ground.
neck.
But Volk is all round
For
better
me,
on the ground.
this is what I see.
Yeah.
I feel it's just is a fight of fighting technique versus power. And there's a thing I noticed. I don't know if any other person notices this. I watched a couple of Diego Lopez fights. You know, every fighter has this thing that they do that you can always pick on. For Dustin Poirier, what Dustin Poirier do is he picks up his shots. He picks up his shots. I don't know. Diego Lopez does this. He's always touching his throat. And when I was watching Mighty Mouse podcast, it's a very good podcast for people that love fight. He was saying Lopez has, when he has him, he said he called it a tick.
A cue, okay.
A tick.
Okay.
He does that. I'm sure when we're watching, for what I'm saying now, when we're watching the fight, notice it. He keeps touching his throat. And if there's one thing Alex is good at, he picks
Shama?
on Volkanovski.
Sorry.
He picks on your vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
He picks on your vulnerabilities, and he's going to use three things against Diego Lopez. Yeah, he's going to test his cardio. He's going to test his grappling, and he's going to test that grit.
yes.
Well, for the grit, you already know he has that for the fight against Dan Ige, which was at catchweight 2.
But it's
which was
just 3 rounds.
yeah. So I don't think
Short notice too.
Yes, short notice
is
too.
a very, very big.
And a change of
Asterix.
opponent.
Yeah.
I don't think Volk is out of it yet.
Someone that fought Islam 5 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think he's out of it yet, and I feel we'll be seeing and
No.
and Volk will be a 2-time
That's what's up.
featherweight champion. I feel.
Don't let them count you out.
Don't let
them
bully
doubt
you.
you.
Yeah.
Don't let them bully you.
Yeah. Guys, what party is going to be coming on Saturday on the 12th, and it's going to be a gathering of fight lovers that love watching fights, and it's going to be a fun time for us. There will be a lot of drinks, lot of entertainment,
Food.
just happy times watching fights.
Banter and trivia.
Yeah, exactly.
Food,
And,
drink, conducive atmosphere.
It's just going to cushion you into the following week, and we'll be having our review too on Sunday. Guys, thank you for your likes, thank you for your comments,
Subscription.
thank you Onyedika, thank you GOC,
Big champ.
and guys, it's a wrap, y'all.
Welcome to the Casual Experience.